So y'all know, if y'all been watching me for a while here on Unfair Sports, that I always try to find a silver lining in everything. If that's not your thing, totally understand it. I'm not for you, because I'm always going to try to find that silver lining. Got to find something positive in everything, because why? If you ain't got hope, what's the point of being here, right? So Oklahoma just got all that bad news. We talked about it on the live stream last night when it comes to the injury report, but I can see a few positives there. So we're going to jump into a little bit of that, what I think can come from this game against Auburn. We also got to go, address the polls. We didn't get to do it earlier this week because I was traveling. Yeah, I know. I don't want to hear it either, but at the same time, I told you, got to get into the habit of doing it every week. That way we know that's a part of our discussion. And like I said, we can see the trends that's going on. So we're going to dive into that, the silver lining around all the injuries, and hopefully what we can do against Auburn. We'll talk about that. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. This video is powered by our partners over at BetUS. They are hooking up the gamer 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. All you got to do is use the promo code YouTube150. All right, poll-wise, man, go ahead and pop these up real quick. Let's talk to them quickly. So in the top 25 ranking, of course, Oklahoma comes through this bad boy. They've dropped all the way down 6 spots to 21 in the AP poll, but only dropped to 18, 5 spots in the coaches poll. And I'm going to be honest, I was a little shocked to see that we're still ranked in the top 25. Now I know the loss and the way we kept things close with Tennessee doesn't really warrant falling out, but the way the offense has performed, the team doesn't deserve to be in the top 25 right now. This team needs to claw back. It needs some bulletin board material to get things jump-started going forward. And that's something, there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with having a situation where you need to really prove yourself and show the world that, you're not gonna lay down and accept all of these problems. You're gonna go and fight. And that kind of surprised me that the coaches in AP still feel like, I think if Oklahoma figures it out, they'll be maintained top 25. They'll be in this range for the rest of the year. Good. Now going into this Auburn game, we've got a new quarterback. We've got a slew of new wide receivers. And there is some silver lining, though, around the injuries. I'll talk about that on the other side. If you were in the live stream, you heard us talk about it, but I want to kind of detail what that really means. But then looking at ESPN FPI, we dropped all the way down in their the Football Power Index. The computers say we're around 18, so we only dropped a spot. We didn't drop very far. So the computers believe that the offense is going to get figured out and the team's going to move forward, which I can't be mad at. If you watched the video earlier this week, I talked about how Brent Venables is building a defense. Right now, in defense efficiency, the team is sitting at 10th in the country. That's a pretty big deal. That means that the one side of the ball we was hoping would get better did under this regime so far. Now we just got to figure out the offense, right? We just got to figure out the offense. And so we're going to talk about what the injury report means coming up in just a second. But first, word from the sponsor. With all the injuries plaguing the Sooners, we're just happy that we have a team to play with, right? And luckily, we've got a site that if you want to put some money on your Sooners, BetUS is taking care of the gamer. They're hooking you up 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. They are hooking up the gamer. Use the promo code YouTube150. So as you can see right now, Auburn has moved into a 1.5-point favorite in this game because of all the injuries in Oklahoma. Kind of bleak. But I still think the Sooners can probably pull this one off, covering that spread. We'll throw a little bit on there. And you can do the same thing if you feel comfortable about your Sooners, because BetUS is taking care of you, giving you a bonus on your first deposit, 150% bonus up to $2,000 using the promo code YouTube150. And you'll get 125% bonus on your second and third deposits as well, because they're taking care of you, the gamer. So check them out here at BetUS. They've got NFL, they've got NBA, they got all the good stuff for you there. So if you feel like you want to risk a little something, take advantage of it here at BetUS, where the game begins. Look at this way. You got 5 guys out at wide receiver. Basically, your entire starting 5 wide receivers. Wild, right? And I've had a few of you jump in the comments and ask, I'm not sure if you possibly missed this when we talked about Andrew Anthony. Remember, Anthony tore his ACL the first weekend in October last year. So a full 12 months comes up next week. And he tried to give it a go first game of the season. Didn't look right. And it appears that he's still a little hesitant on that knee. And I think Brent Venables kind of mentioned about trying to get guys back and instilling some confidence. And in his presser, man, I'm going to be honest, Brent was pretty scorching earth. He pointed out that there was mistakes made, of course, especially on the offensive side. People weren't making the right decisions. People were, kind of ad-libbing, and he kind of went in on it. And I was a little surprised that, in that 19-minute opening rant, kind of lost his mind on that side of the ball. And I've heard that probably he did the same thing with the coaching staff, that he went in and he talked to the O staff and said, we got to figure this out. Let's strip it down to the studs. We got to strip the offense down to the studs now because the defense has it, right? But so losing 5 wide receivers is tough. But there's one thing that I think a silver lining can come from this, right? Everyone's been talking about we want to see some of the younger players play, right? Well, here you go. They're going to play now. We're going to play more younger players now. I expect more Jaquez Petaway. He's healthy. He was hurt, right? Going into, I think that was the Houston game. He was actually hurt, so he didn't get to play as much. Brent Venables mentioned that he was hurt the Wednesday before in practice. He sat out because of injury, so he didn't play much against Houston. But he got a little bit more into lane, and we saw him make some breakout catches against Tennessee. So I anticipate, because that was one person that Hawkins was throwing to in practice on a regular basis anyway, you'll see more of him. I know my guy John over at Locked On Sooners ain't on this boat like I am. I want to see more J.J. Hester too, right? I need him to get some confidence. We didn't throw Jaden Gibson away his freshman year after he wasn't making catches, right? He was dropping some critical passes, but then the next year he started to give us something. I think we can get that same thing out of Hester. 6'4", running a 4.4 40. I would like for him to go out there and make something happen with that size and his speed. And so I think we may leverage him. These wide receivers got to be physical, though. They got to be physical because Auburn is a physical team. Now, the other good one we got out of this is Jacoby Johnson is moving over. You saw that video earlier this week. That was the biggest change of the week, is Jacoby Johnson and Michael Hawkins both playing. So Jacoby's moving to wide receiver, and he's a natural athlete. And so I know that he'll be able to find ways to get open. Some may be asking, why wasn't he playing wide receiver before? He wanted to play corner, and he wanted to be a really good corner. So he came in to do that. And I mentioned it in the past, Jay Valai joked that him and Emmett Jones were kind of, bidding each other and trying to figure out how to split time with Jacoby at corner as well as wide receiver, because he was doing some stuff in fall camp at wide receiver. So the expectation is Jacoby's going to go out there and potentially play both sides. But in this game, we expect him to play wide receiver. So you'll have Jacoby, you'll have Jaquez Petaway, you're going to have J.J. Hester. You still got Brendan Thompson, who's healthy, right? Not having D.I. Burks kind of hurts because he's kind of one of the key components, but he wasn't a key piece for the Michael Hawkins practice. So I think that that's one big silver lining. The second silver lining is on that injury report, Branson Hickman and Troy Everett are gone. I'm going to keep reminding y'all and emphasizing that. That's the one thing that makes me happy, is it looks like the offensive line is getting healthier. Jake Taylor is at the probable. And if he's at probable, there's a chance he may be on the line in this game. And if he's playing and he's healthy enough, yeah, you're going to, that's a big plus for this team, because now you're going to get an offensive line that's going to have an opportunity to build the continuity you want, right? If you're shuffling offensive linemen around because of injury and because of the way they practice, it's going to make it tough. But the good thing is the team is getting healthier and they look like they're getting better. And so I'm not complaining, because this is what we've been asking for. This is what we've been looking for. And now we're starting to get it. And so I expect a healthy offensive line. I know you want to see some of the young players play there, but the problem you run with that is still continuity. The good thing is the offense is being stripped down. They're going to simplify things. And the goal here is block this guy in front of you and go. Let's put to work what Schmitty did with you all in the offseason. The weight you put on, the muscle you put on, the strength you put on. Go get nasty. And I think that we can probably do that here against Auburn. It's going to be a hostile environment. Michael Hawkins making his first start. So we've got everything against us. But the good thing is the defense is looking solid, right? Losing Kendall Dobie does hurt. Luckily, the secondary has done just fine without Gentry Williams, in which I would love to have Gentry back, but we anticipate he'll be back sometime soon. So let's cross our fingers and toes. But overall, the defense, knock on wood, has been nails. Top 10 in efficiency is a key thing. That's a massive number for this team, and that tells me that we are cooking. So let's cross our fingers and toes that things get better. Let me know what you think. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. How you feeling? Yeah, if you checked out my video before, I told you all I'm going to need your patience. I do. This team is basically the 2009 Sooners when everybody felt the need to get hurt, starting with Sam Bradford down to Jermaine Gresham, and then losing all those offensive linemen and then some of your defensive players. This team is kind of a remembrance of that. And so for us now, it's building experience, just keeping the grind. We can get some upsets. We can pull some upsets this season. If we pull enough of them, we still got a chance to go compete for some long-term viability here this season. So let's just hope that the team gets over there in Auburn and shows out. I'm headed to Montgomery. I want to drop this video before I head out. So let me know what y'all think. And shout out to BetUS for powering this video. 150% bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit. $125 on your next two by using our promo code YouTube150. All right, I'm out. We'll chop it up soon. Peace.